Yes,
Love
always love when the puppies visit.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'm tired of the heat and humidity visiting. It needs to kind of move its way out, which I think it might in a couple days.
Yeah, it will. I mean, it could be as early as tomorrow that we'll notice a bit of a cool down in comparison to the day today. And I think all those puppies as well will be okay with the cool down that we'll see over the course of the next several days as well. But today is going to be another hot and humid one. So expect that with high temperatures, mid-upper 90s. But like I mentioned, we're in for a cool down for the rest of the week with high temperatures back in the 80s. However, that humidity will still be sticking around, considering we're going to be watching Debby, which is right now a tropical storm, and will likely weaken as it gets closer towards our area. But we're looking at some rainfall, and some of that rain could be heavy at times, especially on Friday as that system approaches the area. So keeping a close eye on the track as well. Temperatures out there right now to start off on your Tuesday morning. A warm start, most of us into the upper 70s at this point. Just jumped into the lower 80s not too long ago in D.C., right around 80 in Annapolis and Lexington Park. Seeing those 70s back along and west of the I-81 corridor. Satellite and radar right now, we do have this front just off towards our north. That will provide us with that chance for some scattered showers and storms, especially for the northern half of our area, closer to sunset this evening. But most of our day today is looking dry, but it's going to be a hot and humid one. There's that system down towards our south. That is Tropical Storm Debby. I'll have more on that in just a little bit. I do want to focus on today's heat and humidity, though. Highs today, mid-upper 90s across our area, but when you factor in that humidity, it's going to feel like we're into the triple digits again. So yet another day where we're tracking that heat into the 90s, but those feels like temperatures in the triple digits into the afternoon, early evening, even by 4 p.m. still seeing the 100s on the map. So as we look ahead towards the next few days, though, thankfully we will notice at least those high temperatures not nearly as hot as the day today. But as we look at futurecasts, we will be tracking those scattered showers and thunderstorms as we get towards, especially later on this evening. We do have this batch of rain pushing in, and some of this could contain those heavier downpours. Then it eventually slides out, but just again, this will be right around sunset or a little bit after, so any of those heavier downpours could create some ponding on some of those roadways later on this evening, especially after dark. So keep that in mind if you do have the travels later on this evening. As we look ahead towards tomorrow morning, mainly cloudy, and those clouds do stick around through much of the day. We have an east-northeast wind, scattered rain chances. That will keep those temperatures on the cooler side in comparison to the day today. So we're looking at those high temperatures tomorrow back into the 80s. We're talking low 80s to the north, middle 80s for D.C. and areas southward for your Wednesday. Here's a view of Debby churning over the last 2 hours and bringing a lot of that rainfall and flash flooding ongoing, especially for coastal South Carolina from Charleston up towards Myrtle Beach. Right now, as of the 8 a.m. update, 45-mile-per-hour sustained winds, and that system is expected to move its way just off the coast later on today, then make that turn to the north, and we'll be going inland over South Carolina. And this is still over the next 24 to 48 hours, so still bringing more of that heavy rainfall across already a very soaked area from Georgia over towards South Carolina, eventually North Carolina, and then closer towards our area, especially later this week and into the first half of the weekend. We're going to be tracking that rainfall. So as we look ahead in terms of the timing of Debby, and again, this track could shift, and that would change the amount of rainfall that we could potentially see here. But in terms of this morning with the latest model update by 5 p.m. Thursday, we're looking at that wet weather expanding across our area, that leading edge pushing in, and we could even see some pockets of heavier rainfall at times. We're talking about more of the tropical-like downpours as we get towards Friday afternoon and into the evening hours before eventually the system weakens and does move its way off towards our north and east. Look at some of those rainfall totals over the last 24 hours. We're talking at least 8 inches for Savannah, getting close to a foot of rainfall for parts of South Carolina as well, even Charleston too. So these totals will likely continue to rise over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours there. Back here locally, we're looking at anywhere from 3 to even some areas could see up to 5 inches of rainfall. Again, really determined on the track of that system and how much of the heavier downpours do move across our area. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Here's the rest of that 8-day outlook. We're talking about those upper 90s today and then falling back in the 80s through the end of the week. We should be seeing those drier conditions, though, by Sunday with lower humidity. Now, Shanika, what's the latest on the roads?
All right, let's head out to the